Hi everybody! Today we're back with Colour in Heaven Alice in Wonderland Special by Eeva Nikunen, because in the comments for my last video I was asked how I coloured the hair for this lady here in the magazine. So at first I was going to show you using the lovely lady that I used for my skin tutorial, this lady here, but she hasn't really got a lot of hair going on there. I have based it and I was about to start and I thought, well, maybe that isn't really enough. So what I thought was that I'd just go to the next picture in this magazine and I would use her to show you how I did the hair. So I'm going to give this lady black hair as well. I've already been in this morning and I've shaded her skin really quickly just with a marker base and just shaded that with pencils just to give us a bit of an idea what's actually going on. I've given a marker base in the background and we're going to work on her hair today. So here we go. So I can't remember exactly how I did the hair for the lady on the first page, but I'm looking at it, I think it's just my usual kind of method for doing it. And when I do that, what I usually do is I give her a base and marker. Usually this one is Prussian blue, a touch cool Prussian blue, number 69. I give it a base coat of either the Prussian blue, another kind of dark blue if I haven't got that, or maybe a dark kind of cool grey colour. But for the lady on the previous page, it looks as if I used the Prussian blue. So I'm just going to go ahead and I'm going to fill in her hair there with the Prussian blue, and I'll probably cut this out or speed it up because, yeah, it's not the most interesting thing to watch. So here we go. I'll just give her hair a base coat of the Prussian blue. Okay, so I've just finished giving her a base coat with the Prussian blue there to start off with her hair. And what I usually use to shade, I don't specifically always use these pencils. I just pick up whatever pencils what I've used last time, whatever's handy. But these kind of colours anyways. A black, this is the Castle Arts black. White, this is my Polychromos white. This is smoke grey, Arteza smoke grey, just a light kind of bluey grey. And a dark blue, and this is Arteza indigo. And those are the kind of colours that I use to shade when I'm doing black hair. And just as a kind of disclaimer, it's not the most realistic way to do black hair. This is the black. I'm just starting my shading with the black Castle Arts. Yeah, most of the pictures that I colour are generally not totally realistic. So this is the method that I've kind of come up with for colouring hair, but it's not the most realistic. But then I don't colour realistic portraits that much, so it seemed to fit with my style. So yeah. And first of all, I go in with the black and I just kind of define the strands a little bit, just so that when I go in with my shading on top later on, I'll know where I'm going, and it takes a bit of the guessing out of it. And there will be quite a lot of shading, so you see that this bit is not the smoothest, it's quite streaky. That's probably because my markers are old. For this, it's fine because we're going to be mainly cutting it anyway. It won't matter at the end of it. I won't go over a whole head of hair, just that might take a bit too long, I think, but I'll just do these bits leading up into a ponytail and see how we go. And then maybe, as I usually do, keep the rest of it on as a speed colour in case anybody's interested in the whole process of doing our whole head. But hopefully this little bit should show you the basic kind of idea of what I do. And if you want to take that and run with it, fine, adapt it. But this is the way I like to do it, just to give this blue kind of undertone to it. To me, it looks a little bit more lively and a bit more shiny, maybe. I don't know, but yeah, this is the way that I usually do. Okay, I'll have a bit of dark behind our headband. Because like before, my face is in profile, so I've got the light coming from this side, from the right side, just so it highlights her nose, and I can basically figure out where all my shadows and highlights are going to be easily. Plus it means I can put some nice dark shadows into her hair, so So that's a bonus. Okay. Oh, oops, one more little bit and then we'll call it good for the black for a minute. As always, we can go back and add more if we're not happy afterwards, but yeah, next I move on to the blue and kind of try and use this as sort of a mid-tone, I suppose. Still adding a few more little layers of shadows. I'm not sure how well this will be showing up on the camera. I'll try and bring the light in a little bit closer, see if we can get that to show up. I really don't know if it will be, but I'll check in editing. So yeah, with the blue, we're adding a few more kind of shadowy areas. We can go back and blend it into the black a little bit better later on, but just laying it down to get your basic areas going at first. The reason I use blue as a base coat is sometimes when somebody's got really nice dark shiny black hair and they have like a bright light source, like either out in bright sun or they're having photos taken, the light will make kind of bluish highlights. So I've just sort of taken that idea and I use blue as my base for dark hair now, or some kind of bluish tone anyway, a bluey grey or some sort of dark blue. And I seem to find it works quite well. It looks black, even though it mainly isn't. To me, it does. Okay. Don't know how visible that is on the camera. It might show up a little bit better in a minute once we've done the white. So yeah, the white, I try and highlight the brightest areas. And as my light is coming from this white, then it would be on this part here. You can just blend the white into the blue as well, because that kind of lightens the blue, gives a bit of a transition. Might have to adjust these colours slightly in editing so that you can actually see what's going on. But if I do, I'll put some sort of text up on the screen to let you know the colours are not exactly true to life. But I do want you to be able to see what's going on. There we go. Oops, missed a bit. Okay, I do have this smoke grey as well that I can use as a sort of blender. But the main colours are the black, the white and the indigo. And even if you just use those, yeah, you can get a pretty decent black hair going on, I think. Again, not the most realistic, but it's fun. It's pretty quick and it's the way I like to do it. This is back to the black. Just kind of giving it a very light layer in the darkest areas now. And you can put as many layers of these colours, the black and blue, and blend it with the white if you want to, until you're happy with it. But this is, you know, just giving you the general idea. You can add extra strands, extra kind of hair strokes if you want to, because we're basically covering up any line art anyway with black pencil and like dark blue marker. Put these shadows behind our hairband. And a little bit more white. Here we go on top of the black. As we're going on top of the black, and I'm not pressing so hard, it's a lot paler, so blending there. It's probably that grey. Maybe our blue is a bit too obvious there. Just add in another hair strand. I think that's a bit too bright to be around the back of the head, so let's take that down a couple of notches. That's better. There we go, we're nearly done there, I think. But yeah, because you've got that Prussian blue kind of as your base tone, it kind of comes through all the layers that you put on top. Unless you really, really go full on for burnishing, the blue will be coming through the layers you've got on top, and it kind of livens up the black hair. Especially if you leave some in these highlighted kind of areas here, you can emphasize it with your dark blue or indigo, especially in the more highlighted areas. Grey, I think. There we go. Just until you're happy with it. Another final touch, I usually do some little white gel pen highlights, but that's just my kind of style to do that. Is what I like to do, but so you don't have to at all. But just to show you how I would go ahead with that. And just pick out the parts that would be really highlighted. And generally this would be the parts that are, you can see that strand is going over these strands. So this one would be light, there would be shadow as this strand went underneath it, and then maybe this one would be picking up the light again here. There wouldn't be so much back of her head here, but I'll add in a few just to show that her hair is shiny. This one is really kind of curling around, so that one would probably pick up a bit of light on the outer edges. Gel pen is not the best. I like to emphasise any bits that come down across the face as well, so this is entirely how you want to do it, really. I'll just darken off this bit here that goes behind her ears, because this would be really shadow. The way I've got my light set up, this would be right in shadow, so I'll darken that. See if we can bring out those white pencil kind of highlights a little bit more. Get that a little bit brighter. There we go. I don't think we'll put any gel pen down there because that would be in pretty much complete shadow down there. Just add a little bit of definition to a headband there. Again, a little bit distracted, but that's just me. Okay, so that's the basic technique that I use for doing black hair. Just add a little bit of white there too. So blend that in. And there we go. I think that's good for the front of her head, and that's looking pretty good to me. Pretty black and dark, which really suits her, as I thought she looked like a kind of evil queen, which is why I tried to go with this dramatic makeup, which I'm not entirely sure has worked, but yeah. But yeah, anyway, that's the basic technique for doing how I did the hair, how I usually do black hair, pretty quick and easy. Not the most realistic, as I've said a couple of times, but yeah, that's how I would do it. And I'll probably add on the rest of this as a speed colour at the end if anybody wants to watch the whole process, but hopefully that's explained how I go ahead doing the black hair, and see you at the end of the video. Okay, I'll probably be leaving it there for her hair now. If you did watch the whole of the speed colouring towards the end, you'll see there's a few places where the lines weren't exactly clear and I had to kind of make up where the strands were supposed to be going. But yeah, that's a kind of technique that I used for colouring hair on this lady. And yeah, they're fairly close, though I think there's a bit more grey in this one, if I'm looking at it. Yeah, I used a bit more grey on that one. But that's the same kind of technique that I used. Hopefully that'll be useful to someone. Yeah, it's basically just using the blue, kind of Prussian blue marker as a base and then shading on top with black, white and grey and a bit of indigo blue. And that's all there is to it, really. Pretty quick and easy. It's not totally realistic, but yeah, it's the way that I like to do it, and I think it looks pretty good when it is actually done. So yeah, there we go. Now I need to figure out what to do with the rest of the picture. So thank you for watching, everyone. I hope you enjoyed it. I'll see you in future videos. Take care. Bye.